Welcome to episode 33 of the Catherine Crochets podcast. Hello, my name is Catherine. I'm a crochet designer from South London in the UK, and welcome back to my podcast, where I like to talk about all the recent crochet and knitting projects that I've been working on. Thank you so much for those of you who commented on the last one, by the way. I got some really good suggestions of things to make with that yarn that I wasn't sure what to do with. So I've had a really good look through them, and I'm trying to decide at the moment what I'm going to make with them. So I've put it on hold for a while, but I'll come back to it later in the year. I hope you're all well and you've had a good few weeks and you've been enjoying working on all of your crochet and knitting projects or whatever else crafty that you've been up to. I've had quite a busy few weeks. It's been the end of term, end of year stuff here at schools in the UK, so that's always a busy time, but things seem to be calming down now and getting into a bit more of a kind of summer holiday relaxation mode, so that's nice. Got quite a few things to share with you today. I've got 2 finished projects, 1 crochet and 1 knitting, and I've got 2 crochet whips to share with you. One is an update on something I'd started last time, and one is something brand new to the podcast. I think I shared the yarn with you, I can't remember, in the last episode. I might not have done actually. But yeah, I've started a new project which I'm really excited about, so I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. And then I've got it all up next to me, which is why I keep looking over here. I've also got a few future plans which I'm going to talk to you about as well, and some new yarn that has arrived. So let's get started. I think we'll start with the crochet project first, the finished crochet project, and this was a super quick one. I made it in 2 days. It's actually 2 projects really. It is the little amigurumi turtles, and the story behind these is that on the weekend we were visiting my parents on the weekend, and they live down in Hampshire, and we went out for the day on Sunday, one of the few days recently where it's not been pouring down with rain, and it was a lovely sunny day. We had a nice walk, and then when we got back we'd started in a little village called Hamble, which is on a river which goes out into Southampton water, sort of near the Isle of Wight, but it's tidal. You don't really need to know all this, but anyway, we had a nice time. And then when we got back to the village, which is very pretty little village, it's got a craft shop, so we were having a look around in there, and one of my daughters, she spotted a crochet turtle. I think it was a turtle and not a tortoise, I'm not sure, one of them. And she also spotted some glass beads that she really liked. They're both into making bead bracelets and things at the moment, and she was trying to decide what to buy with her pocket money. So I said to her, look, I could make you a crochet turtle, so why don't you buy the beads for a bracelet instead? So she did, and then I thought, well, I better get cracking and make this turtle, otherwise I won't get around to it, and I better make one for her sister as well. So these are the two turtles that I made, and I don't normally do amigurumi. I was thinking, and I think this is probably only my 3rd go at amigurumi. I think I made an apple once, a crochet apple, as a gift for a teacher, and a little Christmas sort of boot or stocking, a Christmas tree decoration, and I think that's about it. I don't think I've made any other amigurumi. So it was quite good fun doing something different for a change, and obviously they're very small, so they worked up really quickly. I'm pleased they were only small though, because although I enjoyed them, my hand did ache doing the small tight stitches, especially like at the start of each little bit that you make. So yeah, I wouldn't rush back to do lots more amigurumi, but it is fun making these little creatures. And I've shown them to the girls and they're both very, very pleased with them. So the pattern was called Tori the Turtle, and it's by, I think it's called Sweet Softies. I'll check and I'll put it up on the screen. And for all the patterns I talk about, actually this will be the only one actually thinking about it, but I'll pop a link to the pattern below. There's a free version available on her blog, and I think there's a paid PDF version you can get as well if you want. But yeah, I was really pleased with those. So yeah, hopefully the girls like them as well. So that was my first and only finished crochet project. Just have a sip of tea. The other finished project I've got is a knitting project, and that is these socks. I've showed you, I can't remember which was the first one now they're all finished, but I've showed you one of these before when I finished it, and then I put the second one on hold because I joined in with the shorty sock along with Emma C Makes. So I started the first one in February, and I've been updating my Ravelry project page for it, and then I finished the second one this month in July, so it was 5 months, and I was thinking, crumbs, I didn't realise it had taken me quite so long. But then I remembered that I had snuck in another pair of short socks in the middle, so I think like that's not quite so bad, is it? But yeah, really pleased with these. I think my sock knitting's definitely improving. Yeah, I can tell which is the first one, I think. Or maybe not. Yeah, I think this one is the first one, and it's a heel flap and gusset, is that what you call it, for the heel. And when I was picking up the stitches along here and here, it's hard to show you really, but they're not quite, they're a bit loose, and I think I did a better job. I can't tell which is which now, but when I did it, I was sure I did a better job on the second one, which might well be the other sock, but I can't tell. But overall, a few mistakes, but really pleased with how these turn out. And the pattern is called Autumn Berries, and it's by Caitlin Barthold. And I can't link to it because it's in a book. It's in the Sock Knitting Bible which is by Lynn Rowe. So you have to buy the book if you want the pattern. But the book's got loads of lovely patterns in it. And if you're new to sock knitting, like me, or even if you're not, probably I think you'd enjoy it because it's got lots of interesting patterns. But it goes through all the basics of knitting socks from cuff down, which is the only way I've ever done it, toe up, and different ways of doing heels and cuffs and toes and things like that as well. The yarn is, this is Aubergine from Peak District Yarns, and then the cuff and the toe, I had intended to use it for the heel as well, but on the first sock I forgot and just continued knitting, and I'd already done too much for me to want to undo it by the time I remembered that I had been hoping to change yarn. But the toe and the cuff, that is, I think it's called Topaz, and it's from Coop Knits, and it's socks, yeah, is the yarn. So those are finished. So I'm really pleased with those. I'm looking forward to wearing them. Right, then I've got 2 crochet whips to show you as well, and these are both new designs, which I will be releasing as patterns later this year, hopefully. One of them I showed you a little bit of last time, and it has grown a bit, so I will update you on that one. Neither of them have got names yet, which makes it difficult to refer to them, but I'm sort of calling this my kind of starry hexagon summer wrap. Oh, it's looking quite nice up there on the screen. It's good I wore a dark top, I think, isn't it? Shows up well. But yeah, so this is made join as you go. They sort of start off as hexagons and then turn into stars in the last couple of rounds. It's only 4 rounds, 4 rounds, and then I just join them on as I go. So I'm going to make it, it's going to be a big wrap, so So it's going to have two sort of straight edges, and then it's going to be this sort of this shape, a trapezium shape. So I'm just going to extend it out at either end. So one side will be slightly longer than the other. But yeah, this is, I mean, there's a lot of like empty spaces in it, isn't there? So this is growing quite quickly. It doesn't, and it's only 4 rounds each of these, so they don't really take that long to make. And it's really, I mean, it's pretty much exactly what I was hoping for, I think. When I started it, I'd initially done 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I've added on a 5th because it wasn't quite wide enough. I think that is going to be wide enough, but I'll see. I'm not sure because it will stretch a bit when it's blocked. So I think that is how wide I want it as a wrap to wear, sort of a summery wrap. Yeah, so I think I'm going to keep it that width and then just make it longer. The yarn is from Hobby, and they sent me this to try, and I had to do a couple, I've done them now, I had to do 2 or 3 posts sort of showing the yarn and reviewing it. But it is called Hobby Friends Cotton Linen, there's the label. And it is made of 50% cotton, 35% viscose and 15% linen, and it's yarn category 1, super fine, and the recommended hook size is 3 to 3.5. I'm actually, because I wanted it quite open and lacy, I'm actually using a 4mm hook for it, to keep the stitches nice and big and open. I've had, when they asked me if I wanted to try it, I had an idea that this was the sort of thing I was going to make with it, and I asked for 3 balls. Each ball is 50 grams, but I've used probably about 1.5 now, and so I've got 1.5 left, so that's about half of it, and I'm not sure really whether or not, I think I'm going to want another ball to make, otherwise I think it will probably be a bit on the short side when it's finished. But I'm going to keep going just to see, because I'm not entirely sure, but I think I might want to order another ball. But this is quite a good project. Obviously it is going to get bigger, but it's a good portable one for the summer for car journeys and things, because it's not too heavy, it's not hot as well in hot weather, and it's nice and small and portable. So yeah, I'm enjoying working on that, and hopefully I've got 2 on the go, and they're both sort of vying for my attention at the moment, 2 main projects, and I say hopefully it won't take me that long to finish that one, but I haven't really, I've got a little bit more of a deadline on the other one, which I'll explain in a minute. So that one's getting a bit more attention, although it is less portable. It's a bigger one, and it's hot, thicker as well. So it's due to warm up today and tomorrow, the weather. So it might not be quite so ideal to work on it if we do get some warm weather again. I've forgotten what it's like, to be honest. We haven't had any for so long. But yeah, so the other crochet whip that I'm working on is a blanket. It's in this bag that my mum got me for my birthday. It's just a tote bag. It's full of woolly goodness, which is 100% true, because it is even wool. Well, it's 65% wool, 35% alpaca. Does alpaca count as wool, or is wool only sheep? Don't know. Anyway, what I'm making is a sort of a Christmas wintry blanket. It's not, well, it is Christmas, but it could also just be a kind of wintry blanket, and it's using tapestry crochet, and it's just one big solid granny square worked in the round. And so the middle section, as you can see, it's got hearts, there's a bit of a pattern. Then I've done these trees, which I've just finished. If I show you this side, I've done the next round of blue as well. So you can sort of see the trees finished off. So the trees, I think, could either be, you could either call them Christmas trees, or they could just be kind of for any tree, couldn't they? Like just a forest tree. And then I'm going to have, so the plan is to then have sort of interspersing like big patterns like the tree and the heart with smaller patterns like the white line. So I'm going to have a small pattern, then a row which will be in pink, then a row of a big thing in white, which I won't tell you what it's going to be just yet, partly because I haven't 100% decided, but I have a couple of ideas. Then it'll be a small row in the like bluey grey colour, and then a final round of hearts in pink. So I think the final blanket will end up being about 4 times this size based on that. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's working up. I wanted to use a natural yarn for this one. I decided not to use acrylic just because I could. It's an Aran weight yarn I also wanted to use so it wouldn't take too long to work up, and also so it's nice and thick and cosy. So I've gone for Drops Nepal, which is, like I said earlier, it is a mixture of wool and alpaca. I've used it before. I made a jumper with it once, knitted. So I knew that it was a really nice sort of soft, smooth wool. It's not itchy at all. It's lovely. And I've got it in 4 colours. I had to buy a bit more once I got going and worked out what I was doing. But I don't know if it says, no, it doesn't tell you the names of them on here. I think this is something denim, faded denim, dark denim. I think there's a denim in the colour. This, which I was sort of thinking of as a greeny colour, actually the colour name is something like blue grey. Then I've got an off-white, which I think is just called cream. I might be wrong about these colour names. And then I've got a pinkish colour, which again I think might be called something like blush, but I'm not 100% but me sure. But obviously all the details would be in the pattern if you wanted to use the same ones. So yeah, it's like I said, I haven't got a deadline for it at all. It's just me, but I have got more of an aim of when I want to get it finished by, purely because it is quite a wintry blanket, wintry Christmassy blanket. So I'd like to be able to release the pattern in early to mid-October, just so if people want to make one this winter or before Christmas, that they've got time to do so. So although it is July and it might seem kind of early, I'm hoping to have it finished by the middle of August, in about a month's time. Then it can be tested, which will also take a few weeks because it's quite a big blanket, and then hopefully then ready to release it in October. So I'm really surprised at myself. I'm not normally this organised, thinking this far ahead and planning backwards, but yeah, I'm really pleased I have, and really looking forward to releasing this later this year. And like I said, it hasn't yet got a name. Its kind of working title is Winter Love, but I'm not 100% sold on that. So if you've got any other ideas for what it could be called, let me know. I've got a few other patterns that start with winter. I've got Winter Star, Winter Forest. So Winter Star is a blanket pattern made of lots of little squares. Winter Forest is a cushion pattern made of a single, like this, a single solid granny square with a kind of snowflake pattern on. Depends what colours you do it in, but it does look like a snowflake, or if you did it in green, sometimes it looks a bit more like a plant or fern or something growing. And then I've also got Winter Flora, which is another cushion pattern. So sort of staying with that cluster and group of patterns, I thought this could be the Winter Love blanket with the hearts. So that is one idea which I might go with, and I kind of like how it ties in with the other pattern names, but yeah, I'm not 100% sold. So if you've got any other ideas, especially if they start with winter, it might be quite nice to kind of have a group of patterns. Let me know, I'd love to hear. And yeah, like I said, I'm hoping to release this pattern in October. The red shawl that I showed you, I don't know when that will be released. Might be sooner. It might not be. For testing it, people wouldn't need to necessarily make a whole shawl, because once you've made a few, it would just be probably having to make a few stars or hexagons, because then you just do the same thing over and over again. So the testing period for that one would be a bit shorter, so I might be able to get that one out, probably would be able to get that one out a bit sooner. If you want to be notified when any of these patterns are released, then I do have an email list which you're welcome to sign up to, and I'll pop the link underneath. And then I send out a monthly newsletter at the end of each month, and then emails whenever I release a new pattern, and if I have a sale or a special offer, that kind of thing. But those are the only things that I send out. And you do get 2 free patterns as well when you sign up. So if you'd like to sign up to that, yeah, there's a link underneath, and you're very welcome to do so. And then you'll hear when the patterns are released later this year. And you also give a discount code to my email list, which is bigger than any discount code that I share anywhere else. So yeah, that's my other ongoing whip, which yeah, I'm really enjoying. But even just having it lying on my lap just now, it's not cold today, but it's not hot, and I am feeling the warmth, because like I said, it's Aran and it's 100% woolen alpaca, well, mix of wool and alpaca, so they're both really warm fibres, aren't they? So it is a really lovely cozy blanket. But yeah, I am enjoying working on this one a lot at the moment. But it's one to work on at home on the sofa. It's not really such a portable one. So that's all I've got on the go at the moment. Because yeah, I've just finished the socks on the weekend and the turtles the other day. So I'm trying to really focus hard on those 2 crochet designs to get those out. But I do have a few other things lined up, which I'm going to talk to you a little bit about now. So one of them is, I've mentioned it before on the podcast. I don't think it was in the last episode, might have been in the one before, can't remember. And one of my friends has asked me, she's just renovated her whole home, and she'd asked me if I'd make her a blanket for her new lounge, which I am really excited about, because it's really nice to have someone actually ask for something, and then you know that they genuinely want it, because a blanket is obviously quite a lot of work and effort, so you don't want to go to all that effort for someone if you're not 100% sure if what you make is what they want. So I also wanted to make sure that the blanket that I make is one she wants. So we had a little chat about it the other day, and she wants something not overly boldly patterned, like some of my designs have got quite a clear, bold pattern on them. Something a bit more sort of subtle, but doesn't mean it all has to be plain. And looking in her lounge, she showed me a cushion as well that for sort of colour inspiration. And so the cushion was kind of an off-white with a dark grey sort of, I think it was like a kind of geometric-y pattern on it, something like that. And then it had a green, quite a bright jungly green edging to it. So I thought we could use those colours and the idea of a bright green edging around the edge for the blanket, which she was happy with. So I made a few samples, which I'll show you in a moment, for her to have a look at and see what she thought. So I'll leave the one that she's gone for till the end. So first of all, because I do a lot of tapestry crochet, I had a go at a tapestry crochet sample, but I wasn't happy with it at all. I don't think I even shaded this one actually. Looking at it now from a bit more of a distance and holding it up, it doesn't look too bad actually. It looks not nicer than I remembered. Maybe I should have shown it to her, but I wasn't convinced. But yeah, I think from a distance actually it's not too bad. Close up, I wasn't happy with how this stitch sort of went kind of blobby there when you work back and forth in rows. Blobby's not the right word, but you can sort of see what I mean. I just didn't like how it went, although from more of a distance it's much less noticeable, isn't it? Maybe that's an idea for a future. Then I did just a really plain, this is just half treble in UK terms or half double in US terms, in the back loop, work back and forth in rows, so you get that kind of ribbed effect. So I think that's always nice for just a simple blanket, isn't it? You get a bit of texture and coziness. These are all with Aran weight yarns. Then I did a ripple blanket. I think this is the neat ripple pattern from Attic 24, and I was thinking it could just be mainly in a lighter colour. These were sort of colours along the lines of what I thought she might like, but not necessarily exactly the same. But I thought it could be mainly one lighter colour and then have darker stripes, either all the way along the blanket or just like at each end. Then, just so she had the option, I did her a granny stripe sample as well, which again could either have these darker stripes at intervals all over the blanket, or just like a few of them at each end. But the one she liked the most was this one, which I was really pleased with because it was my favourite as well, and the one I most wanted to make. So this is just a moss stitch, linen, also known as a linen stitch, in rows. And again, I did two different stripe options. This is with 2 rows, like a back and forth of the dark, and this is just with a single row of the darker colour yarn. I don't think we've decided yet what she wants or whether she wants both, but yeah, we're going to go for moss stitch over the whole blanket with some stripes of a darker colour yarn, either sections of them at both ends or over the whole blanket. I personally prefer this for the stripes. I find that a little bit darker and heavier, but maybe we could have that at the end, and then these over the whole blanket, and then another one at the other end, something like that. And then it's going to be finished off with like a bright green edging. So we're now at the stage of picking yarns. We might go for these because she does like this. This is Stylecraft Special Aran in parchment and graphite, so we might just go with those, but I sent her a few other options which she's going to have a look at, and then order the yarn and start making that. So I think I just love making moss stitch. I find it such a relaxing stitch to work, and I find it works up really quickly as well, which is good because you've got that, it's a bit gappier, isn't it, than some other stitches where you've got the chain space and you fill it in. Someone did a post on Threads this week and they asked, what's your least favourite crochet stitch, which was quite interesting. So I was having a look at what everyone had put, and one person had put moss or linen stitch as their stitch that they really like the least. And I said, oh, that's funny because that's actually one of my favourites at the moment. And they said, oh no, I just find it too long to work up. But I don't know, I find it quite a quick one. I really enjoy it. It's funny, isn't it, how we all have different tastes. Do you like moss stitch? Let me know. I just really like it. I love the look of it and the texture as well. Anyway, so that project, I'm not sure when I'll start it. Depends how long. It's sort of a slow mover. It depends how long it takes us to work out what yarn to get, but that'll be a really nice one to work on, and then hopefully I'll have it finished for her in time for when it starts to get colder again in the autumn. So that's a kind of upcoming projects. The other thing, well, one of the other things I have to show you is some yarn that I bought. So you probably all know, but Lay Family Yarns have been doing a series this year where they've been getting designers and podcasters to visit them and come up with their own, dye their own yarn, and then they dye a whole batch of it and send it out. So the most recent one, I'm not sure if it's the last one, it's the third one I believe, was Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful. So I'm sure you've all seen this, but she dyed or designed, do you call it designed when it's a yarn colour? This one, which is called Wonderland Walk, and it's green, and I really love greens. And so I don't know, couldn't resist and got very excited and carried away. But I did have an idea for it, so it wasn't like I just bought it. But I bought 2 skeins of the 4-ply sock yarn. So it's 75% merino, 25% nylon. And isn't it beautiful? Look at all those lovely shades of green and yellow, and it's got little flecks of brown as well. So my plan for this is to make a big triangular shawl, and I want it to have a really nice, be a solid shawl that will keep you warm, not a lacy one, but have a really nice drape to it as well. So I didn't want it to be, this is obviously the main colour, but I didn't want it to be 100% this colour. I wanted it to have a bit of interest. So when I bought this, you can also, on the Lay Family Yarn website, if you visited, I'm sure you know, but if you haven't, you can also, they've got a range of like hundreds, I think it's at least 100 different colours, and you can order I think it's 10 grams, doesn't say on the label, I'm pretty sure they're 10 grams skein of any of these colours for £2.50. So just based on what I could see on the screen, I ordered a selection of these little mini 10 gram ones to see what might be a good contrasting colour to go with it. And then I ordered a few more as well, because the first ones I got, actually, when they arrived, none of them really worked. So let me show you. I don't know why, but I ordered 2 of each of them, of the first ones I got, which was a bit silly really. I should have just ordered 1, because even for what I have in mind, I don't think 2 would be enough anyway. So I should have just ordered 1 of each of them. I think I was thinking that 2 would be enough if I went for it, so I just ordered 2. But I really like the colours. I think they have got names, but these are 44, no they're not, 41, 127 is the dark one, and 56, but I can't remember what the names are. So those are the first 3 that I chose. But then, so on the screen they look like they could be good options, but then, like, pink and green is always a good combination, but then when I got it home, I thought, no, that doesn't work. There's a bit more yellow in the green in this yarn than I think I realised. Which I'll hold it that way around. So yeah, this is a pale pink, but no, that didn't work. Then this one was a darker one, which actually I had my daughter with me when I was going through them, and she was like, no, it doesn't work. But I don't think that's that terrible. I might have been a bit too influenced by her initial thoughts. It would be quite dark, and it's not a massive contrast, is it? And then this one was like just a pale misty grey, but that didn't work either. So then I ordered a few more, and this time I only ordered 1 of each colour, but they're very similar. So I got 2 sort of pale appley liney green colours. I think that one actually isn't too bad, is it? And this one, which it's really hard to see. You can see there's a slight difference. This one's a tiny bit yellower, isn't it? But overall, wasn't convinced. And then I got these two, which I think work quite well, and again are very similar but are actually different colours, which are sort of a dark aubergine purpley maroony colour. And I thought, actually, yeah, that looks good, because it's going to be a bit of an autumny shawl, autumn winter shawl. So these are nice sort of dark autumnal moody colours. So I thought, yeah, that's great. And then I finished the socks that I just showed you, these ones, with the aubergine yarn, and realised that actually I had quite a bit of the aubergine left over, which is very, very similar to this. And I have this much left over from Peak District Yarn, so it's probably about 50 grams. And look, it's close, isn't it? This is a little bit more redder, marooner, but I think that would work just as well. So I think I'm just going to see if this is enough for what I have in mind, and not buy any more of either of these, even though I think either of those would have worked great as the contrast colour. I'll see how it goes. Hopefully this will be enough. And then, so then of course I've got all these little minis, which do go very nicely together. I might have to make some socks with them or something. But these are always nice to have around, aren't they? So yeah, that's project number 2. I would love, I'm really itching to start it sort of straight away, but I just don't want to have the red shawl, the Christmas winter blanket, and another new design, 3 designs on the go at once. I think it's just too much, and I'm not gonna finish them in time, I think. So I'm trying to hold back before starting this one. But in a way, I'm sort of tempted to put the red starry one away for a bit and do this one, because I'm really excited to start this. So I'm not sure. We'll see. It's hard, isn't it, when you've got, and sort of stash busting, as you can tell, has gone out the window as well this last month or so. I suppose the amigurumi, that used up a bit of yarn, the turtles from my stash, but I have got other stash busting plans as well for other blankets using up sort of chunks of stash, but that might have to wait until the autumn, until I've cleared a bit more of these things I'm working on. So yeah, there's just not enough time, is there? So the very last thing I'm going to show you, which actually I'm thinking now I probably shouldn't, because it's another project plan and I really shouldn't start anything, and I'm just gonna get all excited about it and want to start it straight away, but I'm gonna let myself show you anyway, because it's a knitting project. So I finished those socks. Only ever have one knitting project on the go because they're just slower. I'm a slower knitter, and they're nice to have on the go, but yeah, I might let myself start a knitting project because it's not crochet and that it's good and portable. So my next knitting project is going to be another pair of socks, and it's going to be using this yarn, which I did show. I think I bought this a year ago. It was quite a while ago, so I have shown it before, but even if you saw it, you've probably forgotten all about it. So this is from Hook and Quitch Yarns, and she did a whole set of yarns inspired by Friends, the TV series, and each one was sort of inspired by a moment from the show, and so she had like a photo of a screen from that moment. And so this is inspired from the moment when Rachel and Ross are having that big argument, and I can't remember which one's saying it now, but one of them is shouting, "We were on a break." So it's called "We Were on a Break," and when you see the photo that it was inspired by, it's yeah, it's a really good match to that scene. I love Friends, so when she released this what do you call it, like set of yarns, Friends inspired yarns, I sort of knew I wanted to pick one. So I went for this one, which is quite a sort of bold, wacky colour. So yeah, socks it'll be great for, because I don't think I'd wear a shawl in these colours. It's looking really nice actually, although it's a bit more sort of, I think, orangier in real life than it's coming up. But it is really nice, isn't it? But anyway, I'm going to make socks with them. And I went through all the other 4-ply yarn I had to see if any of it would work as a contrast colour. One thing I thought of was this one, because it does sort of go with that. But then I thought it might all just be a bit dark. So I think I'm not going to have any contrast colour, and I'm just going to do the socks. Nice big pair of socks, all in this. So that is another project which I'm hoping to start soon. So it's all ready to go in a project bag. And when I allow myself, I will start the socks. Because, like I say, I think with it being summer, we're sort of going for days out and things like that. And it's good to have something to take in the car to work on. Obviously, if I'm not driving. If I'm driving, I can't. So yeah, so the sock project, the red shawl project is another good one for that, but the blanket is a no. So I think I might allow myself to start this one, but I'll probably hold off on the shawl with the Wonderland Walks yarn. Pardon me, for now. And that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. Thanks so much for joining me. Do leave a comment below to say hi. Let me know what you've been working on or where you're watching from. It's always really nice to hear from you. And I'm not sure when I'll podcast again, because like I say, it's school summer holidays here now in the UK. So it'll probably be, I'm not sure when the opportunity will come up over the holidays. So hopefully I'll fit one in August, but if not, it'll probably be September. But have a lovely few weeks. Enjoy your summers or your winters, whatever you're up to. And yeah, I hope you do fit in lots of lovely crochet and knitting and just have a really, really nice time. And so until next time, happy crocheting, happy knitting, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.